What's up, everyone? I was just moved to make this message about letting yourself be human. Just let your humanness show. Some of the greatest advice I've ever received in my life was to learn to mind my own damn business. Right? I was told to learn to mind my own damn business because the sooner I learn to mind my own damn business, the more peaceful my life would be. And that's the truth. It's like you got to like just let people whirl and do their thing and just focus on healing and improving myself day to day, right? Like just try to be better than who I was the day before. And I really take that seriously. Like that's literally what um how I live my life and how I've lived my life since um I heard that message, This woman, I respected her so much. I remember the first time that I ever met her, I was at a crossroads in my life where I was pregnant. I was newly sober. I hated everybody I was around. I thought everybody was just two-faced and backstabbing and just sitting around gossiping. And I had an awareness that I wanted to change, and I saw how I wasn't just this nice girl who drank too much and snorted too much cocaine and popped too many pills or whatever. I saw myself as lying and manipulative and gossipy and backstabbing and just, not somebody of their word, not somebody with integrity. And, when I was, the day that I met this woman, I was having like a one-on-one conversation with God. And I was just like, this is it. I'm just going to do this, me and and, I had a feeling that was like, I had this like feeling in the pit of my stomach, like, oh, that might not work, Lisa, because uh, I had really tried to stop drinking and using drugs before, just only speaking with God. And I didn't really have the awareness or the understanding of my addiction or of the parts of me that needed to change. So it didn't work. And I still needed some guidance, on how to be better, because even though I wanted to be better before, when I've tried, I never knew what better was. I had no example of what better could be or even look like. Right. So uh, I remember I heard this woman tell her story on how she got sober. And she started off talking about how she was shake, rattling, and rolling, and she felt like her hairs were shooting out by the roots. And it was it was the first time that, you know, that I felt like somebody was like hearing me. And she had experienced so much heartache, like the loss of a child and the loss of a lover, and just all this stuff, this heartbreak. And she was talking about how she just like let herself flip out, and she threw chairs, and people thought she was nuts, and she checked herself into a nut house, and I was just like, damn, that's brave, and this woman didn't drink, right? She didn't drink, and she didn't pick up any kind of drugs or alcohol. And yeah, she flipped out, but who wouldn't flip out if all that shit hadn't happened? You know what I'm saying? And anyway, she was so real and raw and authentic. And I wanted what she had. I wanted everything that she had, down to her Brooklyn accent. I mean, I just love this woman. And I speak of her often because she literally impacted my life. Like, she saved my life, although she never took credit for it. She'd always say, nope, you went to one more meeting. And because I was ready to quit and give it up. And, this woman was just so real. And she showed me her humanness. And I had always been trying to hide mine. I mean, I had come from a place that demanded perfectionism. And if you weren't perfect, then you were talked about and excluded and like just like looked down upon. And so I was always striving and always pretending to be something that I wasn't. And this woman just loved me. Like she just loved me and just accepted me for who and what I was and where I was. And she just let me be broken when I needed to be broken. And she loved me and never took anything I ever said and used it against me. She gave me advice by sharing her stories because she had an understanding that she wasn't in control over me and this was my life. She taught me to make that connection with God, which is, why I share my story, because this woman literally saved my life, changed me, made me such a better person, human being. I mean, I showed up. Yeah, she's right. I showed up. I did the work. I listened to what she had to say. I listened to what she had to say like it was like fucking gold dripping out of her mouth, because basically it was. And for the first time in my life, my mind started to stop racing, right? This is why I share with you guys about the whole look down at your feet. Look down at your feet. Why? Because it reminds you where you are, right? And then you take a deep breath, you look up, you do what's in front of you to do, and that's it. And when your mind starts whirling again, you look down at your feet again. Repeat as many times throughout the day as necessary. I share this with everybody because I forget sometimes, and sometimes I need someone to tell me, right? And I want somebody to know it. It's like I can't keep this to myself. There was another time, this woman was older than me, but she was my best friend. I've never had anybody. I told this woman every little gory detail about me. And, she was older than me, and she just grew to become my best friend, right? Even like a mother figure, and I remember one day her getting into my car, and she said, "You got $20?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I just gave her $20. I didn't have to ask her why. She needed it. I gave it to her. That's the way she was with me too, and I didn't judge her because she needed $20. She was older than me and she should have had $20, because so many times in my life, I have been freaking judged, about money. This like money gets people are real screwy with when the ideas of money. They feel like money makes the man, or because you drive this and that. There's a time and a place for all that, but I, hopefully when I have money like that to like splurge and buy extra things or go on trips or, take my kids on vacation or something, it's like I hope that I remain a good person, um, but you know, I'm making this message because I feel like it's really important to just say, like, let yourself be human. Nobody's fucking perfect. And those people that walk around like they're perfect, run away from them. Like, seriously, stay as far away from them as possible. People that are trying to, like, tell you how to live your life, or, you know, look down at you because you're not wearing the right brands or whatever, or driving the right car or living in the right neighborhood. Like, fuck those people. Okay. Like, no, I mean, we want good for them too, but they're not in an area of their life or awareness where they have any kind of understanding that that shit just is not, that doesn't say anything about anything, right? Like, all that stuff can disappear. you know how are you showing up in life? How are you treating people? Are you kind to your bartenders and servers? Seriously, like, to me, that says a lot about how a person's personality is. I was with somebody, um, my kids and I, we were with somebody at breakfast, and they started doing this to a server, our server. And I'm a server. And I was just like, what? I'm like, you could see, like, it was like in the middle of fucking rush. This girl had like 10 fucking tables. Okay. Like, that's not an easy thing. All right. And oh, hell no. Okay. You don't do that. And even the fact that somebody was doing that in the freaking year 2025 or 2024, whatever it was, I was just shocked. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's got it all figured out. Okay. And anybody that acts like they do, fucking stay away from those people. Okay. Uh, be nice to yourself, love yourself for where you're at, and know that as long as you're breathing, you have an opportunity to be better than you ever were. Okay. Life isn't over. Life isn't over until God says it's over, and He has the final say. And trust me, I have been down for the count many a times, and people had counted me out. Okay. But God never did. All right. So develop that relationship with your higher power. I call him God, but you can call him whatever you want. And yeah, and learn to trust yourself and let yourself be human. And my son, the other day, we were having this discussion, my son and my daughter, we were all just sitting out there talking about just being real, and he starts talking about how he had this idea. He's like, I'm just going to start saying whatever the hell I want to say and being who I am, and whoever sticks around, that's how I know I can trust them, because they know who I am. And I was just like, that's it. That's it. Like, that is it in a nutshell. Right? Everybody's not your friend just because somebody's like laughing with you. Okay. Some people just come around just to freaking like reap the benefits, right? If you say you have like more than 5 friends on your hands, like where I come from, that's a lie. Okay. It's like, I don't know, maybe some people do have more than 5 friends that they can seriously count on and call on, and not be judged and all that kind of stuff. But, in my lifetime, I've had one. So possibly two. But I would really just say one. And it was the woman that changed my life. And I'm still looking, I still have faith in people. But yeah, anyway, I'm just babbling now. Have a great day. Let your humanness show, and fucking own it, man. Wear it proudly on your sleeve, because you know what? People are fucking dying because they're trying to impress other people. They're fucking dying because they feel like they have to live up to certain standards or look a certain way. Dying. Okay? That's not an exaggeration. So anyway, I love you. Peace out. Have an awesome day.